Welcome to Fiddle Song Farm. It's a beautiful day. It's April 23rd, and I just thought it'd be good to look at the garden today because there are some changes happening, and it's so spring that it's just, it's beautiful. The little frogs are having kind of a frog orgy across the street there. I don't think you can hear them, they're kind of far away. But I wanted to take a tour of the garden because I am making some changes and it's fun to record those. So that yellow bush is a Japanese Caria. I know I've shown that before, but it's just so gorgeous this time of year. It likes shade, dappled sun is fine, it doesn't like heat, it likes moisture. So anywhere a Japanese maple would grow, that would grow. I need to do quite a bit of work out here because I've got quite a few little weeds growing. And I'm planning on paving this area this summer. Hopefully before it gets too hot. I just have always wanted a hardscape out in this little dooryard garden. And I think that that's going to happen. I'm kind of determined. So I'll probably wind up doing it myself. And that's fine. I like to do those kind of projects. So I've got some winter plants that need to be cleaned up. And, you know, just little projects here and there. There's my beautiful fern collection. It needs to be freshened up a little bit. Maybe a new little fern person over there. That would be nice. That's my kitchen window. It's fun to look out here and enjoy this part of the garden because I don't really have a lot of things going on out here. It's very simple, but it's nice and clean and neat, or it will be once I get those weeds cleaned up. Okay. That is a bloodgood maple. This is a little green lace leaf. I've had that thing probably for 25 years. It's been bigger, then it got eaten by goats. Then it got bigger again, and then it got eaten by chickens. And oh my gosh, it's had a hard life. There's my little garden angel. I just love her. She's so serene. Yeah. So this little old pallet fence that Rick made years and years ago, we're going to have to replace that. The wood's rotting and it's just really wiggly. And it probably wouldn't even keep a small dog out of the yard. It's pretty bad. So, and I've got still more cleaning up to do out here, but you can see that things are really starting to take off and grow. I've got several of these. This is a peppermint plant. I've got a whole bunch of them planted in this bed. This whole bed will be peppermint this summer, which is great because that's my favorite tea. And I like to harvest it and dry it and jar it, and then I can use it all winter long. Got lots of grassy weeds coming up, lots of volunteer violets. Violets are wonderful at reseeding themselves. And it's funny, this garden has changed so much through the years, and you know, every year I seem to get a special showcase of something new. Or something goes away that I had last year that I didn't have this year, and it's okay. That's what a garden does. It evolves. So this year, my Lady Banks roses aren't so great. They didn't get a lot of water this winter, and I think that has a lot to do with it. But we may have to redo that fence anyway, so maybe they're going to have to get a hard prune this year and see if that'll knock some sense into them. That big tree is my cherry tree. So the birds are going to love me this year because I'm not going to protect the cherries this year. I had enough last year that I felt like this year I'm not getting such a big crop because, again, it was a dry winter, so we'll see what happens with those, but I have a feeling I'm just going to let the birds have those this year. That's okay. It makes me feel generous to do that, and you know, I don't plant just for myself. I plant for all nature, so this is what I've been working on today. There are the bags of soils that I used. I've been planting squashes in this bed. See the little onions that are planted along the edges and along the center? And then I've got 3 squashes in there, and I've got 2 big cabbage plants on the end, and I'm feeling like those cabbage are going to be good this year. They take a long time to mature, so I'm hoping they don't just bolt. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, I've had those going for quite a while. This weedy bed over here, those weeds are strawberries. I'm not a huge fan of strawberries. Rick likes them, but they grow like weeds for me. And what happens is the slugs get them before we do, so they're not really great. But I'm going to dig out some for Rachel, and then I'm going to take the rest out, and this is going to be my pumpkin bed and winter squash bed, and I think that that'll be nice. This bed over here are more cabbages along the left side here. Okay, there, like this whole side are cabbages. And then this whole side, where's my finger? Oh, there it is. These are all broccoli. And then again, more onions, because you can never have enough onions. And then over here, I'm going to have to take this out, but I'm not going to kill it. I'm just going to move it. This is a yarrow plant gone wild. So I'll harvest a lot of that. Yarrow has some wonderful medicinal benefits. So I'll be harvesting that and drying it and jarring it so that I can preserve that for the rest of the year. And then I'll move that plant somewhere where it's not going to be such a problem if it takes off like that. Because that's the most success I've ever had with the yarrow in this yard. It's fantastic. Now that little bronze-leafed plant right there, that is a mustard plant. It's called Red Giant. Oh yeah, there's a tag on there. It's called Red Giant Mustard, and the fresh leaves taste just like wasabi. They are delicious. So really great with anything Asian, and it's a good leafy green, lots of nutrients. That is definitely a superfood right there. So it really likes my little soil bed here. Now this bed, okay, wait, I have to make my screen smaller. This bed has not been topped with compost yet. I'm coming in with compost and putting a good 2 inches of compost on all these beds. I just did this one today. Sorry, that's kind of out of the sun, but I think that's a better view. That black soil on top is just a very damp compost. And I just put it in today. My back is killing me. But it does that. When I handle those heavy bags of soil, my back gives me some fits. I have arthritis in it, so it does give me some issues sometimes. So this little bed over here, pardon my shadow, but they say your plants always grow better in the shadow of the gardener. And those little plants are parsley. And that is sweet alyssum, which is wonderful to attract beneficials. It's more parsley. So this bed right here, I'm going to put some tomato plants in here and some carrots. Probably plant some more carrots. I did really well with my carrots last year, and they love tomatoes and they grow really well together, so I'm going to do that again. That'll be nice. And then this bed over here, Those are collard greens. These little guys right here are collard greens. And they're probably 6 inches tall. They're not huge, but I've been kind of fighting them because they want to bolt. So I've been cutting off the centers and making them get more leaves, and they seem to be doing okay with that. Down here, there's my finger, right here, those are some carrot babies. There's some more over here, and there's some all along here. Okay, all along here. Those are all little carrots coming up right here. And then on that side are some radish plants. I like radishes, and I grow a lot of them, so they do really well for me. Those big puppies are Swiss chard. That's another dark leafy green that's like a power food. It's really good, very full of nutrients and green goodness, lots and lots of vitamins. This is dill. Let's see. Yeah, that's dill. I've got a couple of those here, and I've got one over on the other bed too, and I really like them. Okay, you got to see this beautiful weed. See that? Grow beautiful weeds. That's a sweet violet. It's beautiful. So over here, I've got some more work to do over here, as I've got some cleaning up to do. That is a Comfrey plant. Those do gorgeous here. They just do really well. There's another one there. I bought these little tiny starts from a local lady who sells potted herbs, and they were just little 4-inch containers, I think. They were tiny, but they're doing really good. So I'm happy with those. Those are several years old. Here are my potatoes. See, all those are 10-gallon grow bags, and they have potatoes coming up in them. They were started kind of late, but they're doing pretty good. And then this is really weird. These are a couple that got thrown in a bag from last year, and so they kind of need like some soil put in there, but that's how they look when they sprout up. So funny, huh? I can't really tell what you can tell in there. See, there it is. Okay, now you can see. So those are my leftover potatoes from last year. I just kind of threw them in there. So fun to look at things like that. So spinach plants, these are awesome. So what I do is I go along and I'll pick off these outer bigger leaves and eat them fresh. I usually just eat them right out of the garden. They don't really get into the kitchen. I like them so well fresh. And then today I went over to Sally's Ridge Road Garden Center and I bought some tomatoes. So I'm pretty excited to have some tomatoes growing now. It is the 23rd of April. It might be a pinch too early, but the way things have been going with our weather, it's kind of hard to predict what they're going to do. So those are just some mixed lettuce plants that I just had extra that I just kind of threw in a pot. And I have been harvesting leaves off of those too. So super crunchy and fresh and good, and I really like them. So, and then my greenhouse definitely needs some attention. But there's my bucket of tools. And then I have some little things growing in here. I would have a lot more growing in here if the dang mouse hadn't gotten into my seeds and dug a neat little hole in each cell and took the seeds out, especially the pumpkin seeds and the squash seeds. Now these little tomato plants are coming up like dog hair. They're doing pretty good. But it may be like midsummer before they're ready to plant. I don't know. I got a really late start and it's been kind of cold, so I've got some kale. Oh no, those are broccoli starts. This is a kale of some sort. Those are stevia. Those are sage plants. Those are Brussels sprouts, and those are kale. And they're just kind of getting ready to go into the ground. I'm sheltering them here. Rachel, here are your dark purple violets that I promised you. They're going. So they won't be too long and they'll be ready to share. There's a couple more potatoes or tomatoes to plant. And I have a bed cover just in case it gets cold. So yeah, that's where we are right now. So my little garden, oh, here's my Arkansas black apple tree. This is already bloomed and it's already setting some fruit. So I think it's going to be a good year for apples because it was dry. And apples, you know, in our area we tend to get some scab things and fungus issues with our apples. So a dry year for those are probably a pretty good thing. So, yeah. Oh, I wanted to show you too. See all these weeds back here? I'm not going to cut those weeds. Those weeds are going to be layered over with some more, probably some more pine needles, if I can keep Rick off of them. He loves to pick up pine needles and burn them. And I need them for my garden, darn it. We've had a conversation about that. So anyway, so this is kind of like my permaculture area back here. It's hard to see, but it's not very big. But I've got 2 apple trees, a cherry, a pomegranate back there, and a fig. Figs do really well here, and I'm actually going to plant some more. I've got a couple more to plant. They're in the house staying warm. So they're fine once they get established, but if you plant them out when they're too young and it's still cold, they can freeze. So, oh, another thing I wanted to show. For my potatoes, see how I've got the wood chip underneath them? So I'm going to hill those wood chips up around each pot. So they're about 1/3 of the way up. And then that'll help keep them cool this winter. So I'm not winter, summer. Yeah. So that'll be nice. And then behind that fence there, that fence is going to have to be replaced, but I'm trying to get Rick to build me some compost bins, and that would be the best place for him, bins back there. And then over in that corner behind the fence, I'm going to put a potting bench and put all my little pots back in there. It's kind of a wasted space, and I need more space for things like that. So I have a lot of cleanup to do. Anyway, happy gardening, friends. I think it's been a really interesting spring, unsettled weather, and you know, we don't know what normal is anymore, so we just have to make the best of it, be flexible, and try our best. All this stuff. Try our best to just keep on trucking. I'm not giving up on my gardening. Oh, this is my lemon balm bed. So this is going to be lemon balm and calendula. Another 2 very special herbs for me. Lemon balm makes a very delicious calming tea. It's really good for anxiety. So if you know somebody who has some anxiety, lemon balm tea would be something to try. It's very safe and effective. And it's good. It tastes good. So it's not like you're drinking medicine. And then we'll give you a nice shot of the beautiful lilac. This is just my favorite time of year. Lilac season. Okay, friends. Well, have a good evening. I hope you're enjoying your Earth Day weekend. I sure did so far. It's Saturday, so I've got one more day left. And then hopefully all is well in your world. So, happy planting. Thank you.